From sightseeing to cultural events, and great food and entertainment, and fun and exploration. This is Taste of the Town.
Taste of the Town, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. This is Taste of the Town with Marjorie Wardlaw.
It is so good to be with you guys again, and today I'm going to show you 3 different cornbread preparations. I am not talking about going and buying the boxed or the packaged cornbread mix. I am talking about from scratch, using your cornmeal, little flour, and all these other ingredients. We're going to just talk as we go along. We're going to do your very basic skillet cornbread using my cast iron skillets. And this is going to give you a nice crispy kind of golden brown bottom as well as the top. And then we're going to do a creamed cornbread that's going to have sour cream in it, some cheese, woo, taking it to the next level. And then I'm going to also show you a cornbread. It's going to have bacon and honey, jalapenos, and of course, hot butter, all right? All right, so I've kind of got my setup here for the basic skillet cornbread. This is going to be your cornbread that you are making when you have greens, when you've got pinto beans, taco soup, all kinds of things like that, or you just want a good hot skillet of cornbread, okay? So what we're gonna start off with is the cornmeal. So you want to get 2 cups of cornmeal. I use self-rising cornmeal. That means that it already has the salt, the soda, and the baking powder in it. You don't need to add any of that. It's already in here. I like a little flour, so I'm gonna tell you this is probably about maybe a quarter of a cup, okay? Flour is definitely optional. I like to use flour. I could really do it without sugar, but I'm gonna just go ahead and put a tablespoon. And that is it for your dry ingredients, okay? So just kind of mix this up together. I told you this is gonna be a nice, crispy cornbread with that crust on the bottom. So you want your pan really hot. So what I'm gonna do is take some butter, and I'm gonna take a little bacon fat. Let's say this is like about 6 tablespoons of butter. About 6 tablespoons of butter. And this is my bacon fat. When I cook bacon, I usually, once it's kind of, cooled a little bit, I just take the rest of that bacon fat, I pour it in here and keep it, because I will use it when I make cornbread, or even I can add it, a little flavoring of it to beans or greens or something of that nature. But again, my mama did it, I do it. I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons, okay? So 3 tablespoons of bacon fat. If you do not have bacon fat, just use some vegetable oil. That's all you have to do. And if you don't want to use as much butter, then again, do about maybe a quarter of a cup of the vegetable oil. And we're gonna add some of this from the skillet into the bread batter that we mix up. Buttermilk. This is one of the key things that you wanna use, buttermilk. If you can find full fat, which is what this is, it is so much better. It's richer. But I often find that so many stores I go to only carry the low fat. So if that's what you have, believe me, it's going to work just fine. So you can, I'm gonna start with 2 cups. I might not need quite 2, maybe 1 3/4. I'm gonna use, for one recipe, 2 eggs, the buttermilk. We went through the 2 cups of cornmeal. I said like about a quarter of a cup maybe of the flour. And again, I put like a tablespoon of sugar. So we're gonna begin adding some of the buttermilk. And this is the thing, don't put it all in at the same time. Kind of get it mixed up. If it seems to be a little thin, add more cornmeal. If it seems to be a little thick, add more buttermilk. There are some people who maybe will do half buttermilk, half whole milk. Maybe you want to do low-fat milk, but I'm trying to give you the version of Southern style cast iron skillet cornbread that is going to make your family and your guests go, "Ooh, where did you learn to make that good cornbread?" So we're going to do 2 eggs. If you've got a really nice jumbo egg, then 1 should be fine, but otherwise 2 eggs for this recipe. Again, I'm going to mix it in here really, really good. I can see that that's melting over there well. I can smell it. I smell that bacon fat mixing in with that butter. So we're gonna do that. And you know what, guys? I might even add a little bit more buttermilk to this. Well, I'm just gonna do just a little bit more, okay? I would say that was probably less than 1/4 cup, okay? So that's looking pretty good, feeling good. Now I want you to look in this skillet. This is the key. A good hot skillet, the butter, the bacon fat. So we're gonna pour half of that, but I'm leaving enough in the bottom of this skillet. I'm turning this eye off, but I want that skillet to remain hot. I'm gonna mix this in, and it doesn't take very much. That's it. Listen, my oven has been set. I'm gonna raise it up now to, I want this at 425 because you want a good hot oven. And then we're just gonna pour. Oh, you hear, that's what's going to give us that nice, good sizzle. Okay, great. Now, let's get this in the oven. And this is gonna bake about 25 minutes, you guys. So here we are. Now, I've got this cornbread going into the oven. So when we come back, we'll see how it's all looking.
Taste of the Town, brought to you by Geico. This is Taste of the Town with Marjorie Wordlaw.
So I have my batter already made up. Cream style corn. We have the sour cream. So before I add the ingredients for the creamed cornbread, I am going to take a portion of this batter and I'm just going to separate it so that I can use this, okay, for my appetizer cornbread that I was telling you guys about with the bacon, the butter, and the honey. Typically, this whole recipe would call for 1 can of corn. I'm not gonna do the full can of corn today, guys, so I think I'm gonna do about, I think I did about 2/3 of that can, okay? So 2/3 of that can of cream style corn. And we're gonna use sour cream. And I'm going to use about a half of this container. If you're making the entire recipe, and that will be on my recipes when I, post those for you, you would use the whole container. So this is an 8-ounce container, but like I said, I'm cutting this today. So we're gonna add the cream style corn. We're gonna add that sour cream. We're gonna mix that in really well. So I have an Italian 5-blend cheese, and I also have some sharp cheddar. So let's say that we wanna do about 1/4 cup of each. And this is, again, kind of going by your feel. It's heaping. Okay, we'll put that in. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the sharp cheddar, okay? So we got a heaping. I'm gonna put a little bit more. Little bit more. So all of this is nicely blended. That looks really good. Just like before, we have the butter and we have a little of my bacon fat. I'm gonna add that right in here. And keeping a nice amount. Again, I want this Skillet cornbread, even though it's cream corn, to have that nice crispy bottom. So we're gonna put this in here. Again, here the skillet is, We'll put this one on the lower shelf to get it started. We're baking it at the same oven temperature. We want this to get just a little bit more golden on top. And this one, this is going to be our fun cornbread. This is going to be the bacon, the jalapeno, the butter. I'm gonna add just a little sugar. And again, this is probably about a tablespoon of sugar. So this one, I will have it a little sweeter. And the only thing that I'm going to do with this one is take a little melted butter. And I think I'm gonna do probably again about, let's say about, maybe a tablespoon, okay? You know what? This is really kind of crazy. I did not mean to put that butter in there. I told you I wanted to melt it, didn't I? It was supposed to go into this. Lord. Anyway. Okay, so we got butter. Let's take this butter over here the way that I wanted it to begin with. All right, that's good. See, that's good, all right? No, it's not. It really could be, I could have stayed another couple more seconds, but listen, it's all going to just melt and go into the same place. So that's okay, guys. Let me get that other cornbread out because it is ready. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm gonna sit it over here on top of this rack. That is going to be delicious. And I'm gonna tell you something that, again, my mother always did this. I just do it. We tend to do things that, you know, our moms did, basically, if we enjoyed being with them in her, you know, with mama in the kitchen. So you just take your stick of butter, and while it's really good and hot, just take that butter and just go all over the top of that cornbread. This is the area where that butter and that bacon fat kind of bubbled up when I first put it in. See, I would love that section over there because I know it's gonna be buttery and just so delicious. Okay, so that's good. So we leave it just like that for a moment. Let's go back over here. And what I wanna do now is just to carefully put these into the sections, okay? I'm going to take this. I'm gonna also put this on the lower rack. This needs more time there. That cream style corn also was gonna be baking for about 30 minutes or so. Talking about having that nice crispy crust and the top. We would take this pan. All right, now let's just kind of flip. Oh, look at that. But this is the secret, I said. Now put that in with the top side down. Oh, the crispiness that when I cut this, that is going to be delicious. It might make you not go back to those boxes anymore. They may serve a purpose, but when you want some good old cornbread, this is what you want, guys, all right? You know, you get the best food in New Orleans. And a recipe, a menu had as an appetizer cornbread, and I think it had cornbread and honey. But it was delicious, but I knew that it was also a box. So I started thinking of making the original, Southern style cornbread, kicking it up with the bacon and the jalapenos. And you know what? So my little version was created. Now maybe someone else is out there doing the same thing, but all I know is this is a great version. So we're gonna have fresh jalapenos. I already cooked up some bacon. So I've got bacon. I'm gonna chop this bacon up. I did 8 slices of bacon because my my cornbread dish has 8 slices. So I was basically thinking 1 slice per serving. So it's very simple. Bacon, jalapenos, which I'm gonna just slice up. 1 should be fine. We're gonna drizzle it with honey. We're gonna always put, you know, some nice butter on it. And I'll tell you, your guests are gonna be like, oh, you are just awesome. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna just come right across. So we know it's still nice and hot. I'm just gonna put that across the top. Homemade Southern style from a Southern girl.
Taste of the Town, brought to you by Geico. This is Taste of the Town with Marjorie Wordlaw.
Oh my goodness, look at the cornbreads. They just came out of the oven. They are piping hot. I am so pleased. They are beautiful. So this is the creamed cornbread with the sour cream and with the Italian 5-blend cheese and also the sharp cheddar. Oh, and of course this is going to be the cornbread that we are going to make and use them as appetizers, you know, or starters or whatever. I told you this was gonna be a butter, bacon, jalapeno, and honey. So we're gonna just drizzle a little butter just over them. While it's good and hot, it'll soak all of that butter in. Oh, if you guys could smell this. Also, I'm gonna do the same thing, just pour a little over this cornbread and cream corn. These are so nice. So I chose these plates, but if you're doing appetizers, you could do something smaller. But let's take these over and I'm gonna show you what I would do. So I've already chopped up the bacon, and let's say I like lots of bacon. So let the bacon just kind of fall over on the plate. You see there's plenty of bacon that would be for all 8 of the slices. And jalapenos, now again, we like things a little bit spicy. Gary really likes spicy. Gonna drizzle your your honey, and then just, you know, make it pretty on your plate. That way you can even take, and when you cut into that cornbread, you can just kind of like just take it and drag it through that honey. Oh, that is just wonderful. And think about all of that butter that has just kind of soaked in there. And just because I am a person of spontaneity, it just hit me. I think I would like to put just a little sprinkle of some cilantro. I just think that's pretty. So I just took a little cilantro. And if you think of other things that you might like to have on yours, I'm always encouraging you, do your own thing. Take what you maybe see me do or somebody else, and then just make it yours. That's what I do. But these are the bacon jalapeno honey drizzled with the butter cornbread appetizers. Okay, try it, you'll like it. So this looks delicious. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, the honey with the saltiness and the crispiness of the bacon. The cornbread is just delicious. You know, it would make you almost say, oh, I could just eat the cornbread. But the cornbread and the honey, really, you know what I'm going to tell you guys? I want more honey. I love the sweetness and the savoriness all coming together. It's good. It's got a kick. I will tell you that. This is a winner. Try it. Let me know what you think. Now this one is going to be moist. Oh, this looks wonderful. And this is different now than a corn pudding. I think sometimes people become confused. They hear you talk about, cornbread with cream corn. This is not corn pudding. That's another recipe for another day. Don't fall apart on me. It's all of that nice moist corn. Oh, look at the corn pieces in here. This, always, if you would like, you can add more butter, but you saw that I drizzled butter over it to begin with. Let me just taste this. It's creamy. Although it is totally done, it's totally baked inside, but because of the sour cream and the cream corn, and you really have that hint of that buttermilk flavor coming through, this is so wonderful. You know what it is? It's almost as good as, as having it as a side, but like I said, it's not a corn pudding, so it's not that custardy kind of filling, but oh, you'll love this. Homemade Southern style cast iron skillet cornbread, nothing like it. Try it, enjoy it, give me a shout out, let me know what you think. I will send you the recipe to all of these great cornbreads, and remember, these are a base for so many different things that you're gonna wanna do. We love hearing from you. Keep watching, keep taking care of yourselves. We love you. Have an awesome day and an awesome week.
Taste of the Town, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. This is Taste of the Town with Marjorie Wordlaw.